Thank you for joining me this evening. It is January 18, 2017, 2 days before Donald J. Trump is sworn in as president. And don't forget the amazing engagement reward this week, which is 6 pints. You'll probably put on about 25 pounds. 6 pints of edible cookie dough. It's the most amazing stuff. It is from a young man, 21-year-old entrepreneur, already has 2 companies, and incredible Ron Paul supporter. Worked in his 2011-12 campaign. Great guy. Now, on these talks, we're going to cover some of the content I've posted on the Facebook page because not everybody gets to go to it. So let's start with the latest post, which is billionaire Jack Ma, Chinese billionaire Jack Ma, one of the richest men in the world. And he created a website to connect manufacturers inside China with normal people like me all around the world. It's called Alibaba, and I've used their services myself. You can purchase things off Alibaba just like Amazon, but it also puts you in contact with these small manufacturers where you can begin a dialogue with them and send them your plans, and hope they don't do anything bad with those plans, and start creating your products for you and shipping them back here. Pretty interesting. Well, he came out today. It was a long introduction, wasn't it? He came out today and said this, that the US has wasted trillions on warfare instead of investing in infrastructure. I asked that on the page just 23 minutes ago, and everybody has replied, yes, we know what it's like. America has spent way too much money on the military and overseas excursions, and that needs to stop. There's a lot of talk about Donald Trump continuing these policies. New boss, same as the old boss kind of cynicism. This is the second American Revolution. You've seen nothing yet. Not to say that there will not be any military action over the next 4 or 8 years, but you're going to see a rapid de-escalation of military activity around the world as we move closer and closer to a non-interventionist foreign policy. I don't have it in front of me, but I did create a graphic that explained, actually it's on my Instagram. I'm just going to pull my Instagram up right now and take a look at this quote by Donald Trump while he was on the campaign trail. "We will pursue a new foreign policy that finally learns from the mistakes of the past. We will stop looking to topple regimes and overthrow governments. Our goal is stability, not chaos. In our dealings with other countries, we will seek shared interests wherever possible and pursue a new era of peace, understanding, and goodwill." That was Donald Trump. He said that on December 1st, 2016. I watched that streaming live. I thought it was very fascinating. There are certainly times where Donald Trump sounds a whole heck of a lot like Dr. Paul. There is an interesting little post we've got on the page about an African-American man attacking verbally with expletives an interracial couple sitting down in a restaurant. And that I posted on there, that's actually one of the reasons why, it's actually the only reason why, I am not going to the inauguration. I so badly want to go to the inauguration. This is an absolutely historic moment, and I want to be there. And I'm not going there. I spent 3 months in D.C. about 7 months ago, 6-7 months ago. And never before have I encountered the level of racism towards me and other white people as I have in Washington, D.C. Now, for those of you that don't know, I have a pretty grungy set of dreadlocks. And I've actually been stopped in the streets by African Americans because of my dreadlocks. I don't mean like physically stopped, but, you know, they'd stop as I'm walking past them and start talking to me. And I had one guy look at me and So who the fuck gave you those? And, so actually there was an even worse event. There was an event at a Starbucks just outside of D.C. in Virginia where African-American with dreadlocks refused to serve me, stormed out the back. His manager told him to come out. He begrudgingly served me. He would not say a word to me. And I actually have this on video, I believe. I do. I have that episode on video, at least some of it, after his tirade of running out the back. A white person should not be in fear of being anywhere, at any time. Nobody of any color should be. But unfortunately, we live in a period of escalated, heightened sensitivity and triggerness. And, there is definitely a cultural difference with African American communities around the country. So I spend a lot of time traveling, a lot of time. I'm almost always on the road. And on the West Coast, I've never had any problem whatsoever with any kind of racism. On the East Coast, it's a completely different story, especially in D.C. There is no more racist a place I've ever been than D.C. Now, of course, some will tell you that that's impossible, Israel. You're white and blacks cannot be racist towards you because you're not being oppressed by the black race. Those attempts to just shut down the conversation are what we expect from the domestic terrorists on the left. It's not true. Anyone can be racist towards anybody. In fact, when you look at racism around the world, the most racist people in the world are Asians, and they're most racist towards each other, right? The Chinese and the Japanese absolutely hate each other with a level of passion that is multitudes beyond anything that we've ever seen here in the United States between blacks and whites. People can be racist towards white people. Black people can be racist towards white people, there's no doubt. And so it's unfortunate that I simply do not feel safe to go to DC and take part in this inauguration of a man that I believe is truly leading the Second American Revolution and is going to bring such incredible prosperity to this country for all people. And I think that at the end of this 4 and 8 year period, I'm sure it's going to be 8 years, but it may just be 4, we'll see. And it may be cut short with an assassination attempt. I think that's a very real possibility. I think that tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday the 20th, when he's actually sworn in, are very dangerous days for Donald J. Trump. I think the potential for Donald J. Trump to be, I wouldn't say assassinated, but the attempt of an assassination over the next 2 days, I think, is extremely likely. And it's sad. It's sad that I have to think that way. But there are so many people with so much hate, such misguided hate. And we're going to have more conversations about this kind of thing. We're going to start interviewing people and put these onto the podcast so that we can really have a conversation about what's really going on here from a different perspectives than what everyone else is talking about. I think you're going to like it. There's a spiritual perspective that is being ignored, and I don't mean Christian. I mean, there is a spiritual context to what is going on right now. We're going to talk about that. So I'm not going to DC. It's very unfortunate. I really want to be there. I have the time. I want to be there. But I just think it's too risky right now. I'll watch over my iPad from afar. Okay, let's raise the tempo a little bit. Judge Andrew Napolitano yesterday, went back into Trump Tower and met with Trump. He walked in and sat down. Trump found him at 10:03. Their appointment was supposed to be 10:30. I watched an interview. And Trump said to him, I know I'm not supposed to see you till 10:30, but do you have time? Can you come with me now? And he goes, yes. So he went and he spent the first half hour with the president. He was interrupted by President-elect, by Trump taking several phone calls. Now, I explained last time, when we look at the protocol of somebody going into Trump Tower and we're looking at these appointees, I wrote a piece on it. I'm not going to go over it now. Just go to my website, israelanderson.com, and you'll see the article I did on Judge Andrew Napolitano going into Trump Tower, which was now about a month ago. Actually, it was almost exactly a month ago. It was the 15th of last month. And I present my case there for why he is absolutely in consideration for the Supreme Court. He is not just being questioned for his advice on picking somebody else. I go through it in the article. Go read the article. You'll see what I'm talking about. The modus operandi, the MO of his entrance, the discussion he's had, the questions he was asked, the kind of time that he spent with Donald Trump on both occasions, the first time and now the second time. Also getting a photo, a proper sit-down photo with Trump this time, which we haven't seen yet. Fits the MO of the people that are absolutely on the very, very, very short list to be the appointee in particular positions. I have no doubt in the world Judge Andrew Napolitano is not just in consideration for the Supreme Court, he is probably in the top 3 or 4 choices right now. That's exciting. That's really, really exciting. Could not want for a better person than Judge Andrew Napolitano to be on the Supreme Court. It would make the libertarian world rejoice to have a true, bona fide libertarian, a very, very close friend of Dr. Ron Paul's, on the Supreme Court. And people say, well, he's too old. Oh, bugger off. Having Judge Andrew on the Supreme Court, even for 5 years, would be gold. But he'd probably be there for 20. Pure gold. I mean, just absolutely amazing. The CIA, there's another article on the page. The CIA was doing some crazy metaphysical experiments, all kind of psychic, interesting things. They actually had Uri Geller, that guy that bent spoons with his mind, although some would dispute that. The CIA had him for a week, and they ran all kinds of tests, and it was very interesting. Now, I've actually looked a lot into this. Not just from this article, but I have an interest in the supernatural and the metaphysical world, because I don't believe it's actually the supernatural world. I believe it's just the natural world. I don't believe the material world is base reality. There is something different. And I think quantum physics, especially string theory, really starts to explore that realm. And I'm very excited. It's why I have a passion for physics and the quanta. And we will be exploring things like that as time goes on the podcast and so forth. Well, I want to try to keep these under 20 minutes so that they're useful each day. And I am going to try to do these every single day. There's something I haven't posted, though, on the Facebook page. And that is, a guy today was arrested in Florida. There's a lot of strange people in Florida, isn't there? There really is. I think it's the heat and the humidity. It's crazy down there. I spent a couple of weeks down there. Obviously, I went down there and helped Austin Peterson with his presidential campaign. He was trying to be the nominee for the Libertarian Party, and they were not real bright people down there. They voted in a leftist, 2 leftists, actually, instead of the most... I was going to say the most libertarian, but no, that would be incorrect. I wouldn't say that. But Austin definitely had libertarian street cred and knew how to present the message properly. And some people didn't like him because of pyramids of pussy, and they thought that would turn a lot of people off. And apparently it doesn't, does it? Because in 2 days' time, we swear in. You get the story. Of course, people also said that, well, we can't vote for Austin because he has no political experience. Kind of like, that dude we're swearing in 2 days' time in D.C. I wish I could be there. Do you like this? Do you like these? This is just, by the way, this is not edited. I won't be editing these. This is 100% straight off the cuff. I'm actually bouncing around on my iPad between the articles and the Facebook page. I don't have a script. And I like to just talk off the cuff, and I hope that you find that interesting and not boring. I do have an app here which automatically cuts out long silences, but I haven't done one yet. But I will do this right now. I'm about to pause for, 15 seconds. And I am back. And of course, that wasn't 15 seconds long, but it's clever, isn't it? And does it for me. I don't have to go back later and edit it. It does it on the fly. It's absolutely terrific little app on my iPhone. So Guy today was tweeting in an internet cafe, and he was on a computer, and he was tweeting that he was going to go to the inauguration, that he had tickets, that he would be there, and that he was going to assassinate Donald Trump. He said this on Twitter. He uploaded like a 1 minute 20-second video of himself saying this, and said, by the way, I have another name, and that name is Lord Jesus, or Jesus Christ, or something like he said. A loony bin. He did have something in common with Jesus Christ, though. He was homeless. So, there's that. But listen, I don't have a good feeling about this inauguration. I think tomorrow, I looked at the schedule. Donald Trump is involved in a lot of outdoor activities tomorrow. He's going to be at the Lincoln Memorial for quite some time tomorrow. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. If you've done any investigation into the real assassination of John F. Kennedy, and why he was taken out by people connected to the Clinton crime syndicate, then it should give you pause that the president-elect, who is being radically more outspoken than JFK ever was, and here he is in public tomorrow. I don't like it. I would be surprised if we make it through the week without an assassination attempt. I don't believe they'll get him. I don't believe they'll ever get him. But I believe that in his presidency that we're looking at probably 3 times where I think they're going to go after him. We need to pray. If you're the praying type, send your good vibes and energy if that's the type you are. But I'm serious. This is the Second American Revolution, and they are going to try to take him out. JFK was a good man. He wasn't perfect. He did some stupid things with Cuba. I know a lot about American history. I'm not naive. But this man, Donald J. Trump, he proves to shake up the system. Here he is tweeting, calling out John Brennan, the head of the CIA, just 3 days ago, 2 days ago even, saying that was he the leak that leaked the information to the media before he even saw it. Calling out the head of the CIA as the incoming president. I mean, you just got to think about that for a second or 2 or 3. I mean, that's absurd, right? That's absolutely absurd. I know there's so much skepticism out there in the libertarian community, right? I see it all the time because you're all my friends. But you will see as time goes on that this truly is the Second American Revolution. It's being fought very differently. But this is, without any doubt, a revolution. And us as libertarians, we need to be in the thick of this. We need to be involved. We cannot be stepping back. We've got to be involved. Got to be involved. I wish I could be at the inauguration. I would love to have said for the rest of my days that I was there when he was sworn in. The man who completely changed the face of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. This is going to be one of the most historical presidencies. This is truly the Second American Revolution. I'm going to keep using that term. It's going to become popular in time. You watch as people begin to see what actually happens here. Don't forget that you can engage on the page and you can win 6 freaking pints of unbelievable cookie dough. Now, tomorrow I will be live streaming the opening of the box from Austin Grosje's Cookie Dough Company. And I'm going to be opening, because he sent it to me. He sent 6 pints to me, and it arrives tomorrow. It's pretty incredible. It's not the kind of thing I'm usually into, but for the sake of you all, I will make the sacrifice, and I will devour 6 pints of raw cookie dough on one live stream. I am kidding. I'm not doing that. But it should be fun to at least break them out of the box and show you what one lucky person will be receiving next week for being the top engager on our wonderful little community here. Thank you so much. I love you all, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a good night.